Hello and welcome to the Healing Codes podcast. I'm Julie Williams, your host, creating a space where we explore the frequencies of transformation, the science of healing, and the ancient wisdom that guides us home to ourselves. Today, we step into a doorway, one that leads us to the past, the present, and the future of healing. It is the doorway of psychedelic medicine. Once revered, then forbidden, and now returning as a powerful force in mental health, trauma recovery, and spiritual awakening. I'll share some background information on plant medicines and my own personal journey of liberation with them. This is my offering of the Podcastathon event happening this week, uniting podcasters globally to dedicate an episode to a cause close to their heart. Mine is the use of plant medicines for therapeutic purposes in an ethical and legal way that protects both clients and practitioners doing this life-affirming work. For centuries, plant medicines and psychoactive substances have been used in sacred ceremonies, offering visions, healing, and profound insight. But in modern times, we lost our connection to these ancient tools. Today, thanks to groundbreaking research from institutions like the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, or MAPS for short, Johns Hopkins Universities, and the Imperial College of London, the world is waking up once more to profound potential of psychedelics. So what does it mean to heal with psychedelics? What is the science, the legality, and the soul of these medicines? Let's step into this journey together. Long before psychedelics were a topic of research, they were medicine for the soul. Ayahuasca was used by the Amazonian shamans for thousands of years to cleanse the spirit and connect with the divine. Psilocybin mushrooms, named flesh of the gods by the Aztecs, were used for insights and communion with nature. And then there's peyote and San Pedro cactus, sacred to Native American and Andean cultures, opening the mind to visions and guidance. To these cultures, they were not just substances. They were bridges between the material and the spiritual worlds. But in the West, psychedelics remain unknown until the mid-20th century, when scientists and therapists began exploring their potential. In the 1950s and 60s, researchers like Stan Grof and Timothy Leary studied LSD for its ability to heal trauma and expand consciousness, and their results were promising. Then everything changed. In the 1970s, the war on drugs classified psychedelics as Schedule I substances, labeled as dangerous, addictive, and without medical value. Research halted. The sacred became criminalized. The medicines were lost. Just for a time, though, because true healing has a way of returning when the world is ready. Decades later, a quiet movement of scientists, therapists, and indigenous wisdom keepers began reopening the conversation. Today, we stand on the edge of a psychedelic renaissance. Researchers are proving what ancient traditions have long known, that psychedelics have the power to heal not only the mind, but the soul. For example, the MAPS Institute has led the change for MDMA-assisted therapy. In Phase 3 clinical trials, 67% of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder patients, no longer met the criteria for PTSD after 3 MDMA-assisted therapy sessions. Unlike traditional antidepressants, which often numb symptoms, MDMA opens the heart, reduces fear, and allows deep trauma processing. Psilocybin, the active compound in magic mushrooms, has been found to rewire the brain in ways traditional medicines cannot. In the Journal of American Medical Association of Psychiatry, a study found that psilocybin therapy led to a 50% remission rate in treatment-resistant depression. MRI scans show that psilocybin reduces activity in the default mode network, the part of the brain linked to overthinking, ego, and depression. Patients describe feeling a deep sense of connection, clarity, and emotional release. Ayahuasca, the sacred Amazonian brew, is gaining attention for its ability to help people recover from addiction, PTSD, and deep emotional wounds. A study in the Frontiers in Pharmacology found that ayahuasca users had long-term reductions in anxiety, depression, and addictive behaviors. Indigenous traditions teach that ayahuasca doesn't just heal the body, it purifies the spirit, allowing one to see life with new eyes. Given these results, the laws are beginning to shift, slowly but surely. And we are truly witnessing a moment in history, a return to the wisdom that was once lost. So what makes psychedelics so different from traditional medicine? They don't just treat symptoms. They invite us into a journey of awareness, of surrender, of truth. For many, a psychedelic experience is not just therapeutic, it is sacred. It dissolves the ego, revealing a sense of oneness with all of life. It surfaces buried emotions, offering a chance to heal at the root. It connects us with something greater, whether you call it God, the universe, or simply a deeper self. A leading researcher at Johns Hopkins University found that 80% of people who underwent psilocybin therapy describe it as one of the most meaningful spiritual experiences of their lives. As the world opens once more to psychedelics, we're not just witnessing the return of a treatment. We are remembering that healing is not suppression, it is integration. Remember that true medicine is not just chemical, it is emotional, spiritual, and deeply human. Whether through science, ceremony, or personal journey, psychedelics remind us that we are not broken, we are whole. We are capable of transformation, and healing is always within reach. I've had my own deeply healing and expansively profound experiences with plant medicines. I didn't get the call to commune with these spirits until I got involved with some Celtic shaman circles while living in Ireland. Admittedly, in my youth, I did use many of these recreationally to enhance the party scene and dancing experiences, or to run around in nature to commune with the spirits there. People often wonder, what's the difference between recreational use and ceremonial use of these substances? Isn't it the same thing? Are you just using ceremony as an excuse to justify taking drugs? In my experience, ceremonial use is far more powerful than recreational use, mainly because the medicine spirit is respected in a sacred and humble way, rather than just taking a pill and trance dancing into the night, which, don't get me wrong, is definitely a transcendental experience. But ceremony involves someone trained with the use of serving the medicine, let's call them the shaman, who holds space for you while you journey into these other realms of consciousness. This allows for a deep sense of trust, relaxation, and communion with the medicine, because if something goes sideways, there's someone there to help. I've witnessed people having bad trips in my recreational use days, but thankfully all my trips have been blissful and deeply insightful. I've also worked with clients who have done medicine sessions with people who called themselves a trained practitioner, only to be left with fractured psyches and terrifying after effects. Thankfully, with my shamanic background and plant medicine references, I've been able to activate the healing properties of these medicines for my clients to allow its activity to be beneficial and the side effects to subside. You can find out more about me and my work with consciousness medicine, family constellations, and holistic NLP on my website, www.consciousness-medicine.com. I would describe one session with plant medicines being the equivalent to years of therapy. This is due to several reasons, and the specifics depend on the type of medicine and the dosage taken. My journey with plant medicines and ceremonies started with ayahuasca. These were incredible experiences of being shown both my divine nature and the shadow elements that hinder me, like a journey from heaven to hell and back again. Each session left me feeling clear and vibrant, my intuitive senses heightened, and armed with sacred insights associated with my intention that have never failed me. After a few years with this medicine, my journey went deeper with the use of various forms of DMT, including 5-MeO-DMT and Bufo or toad medicine. 5 is considered the crown jewel of plant medicines, being called the God molecule. For me, like many others, it took several doses over time with extremely knowledgeable practitioners to get a full release with the medicine. My ego went kicking and screaming, literally, eventually dissolving into states of pure consciousness that were life-changing. Once you have the experience, you cannot unhave it. The feeling of dissolving into one's true divine nature, to a place where everything exists but nothing exists at the same time, enveloped in white light so bright you can only imagine this is what people who come back from near-death experiences report. It was the truth of who I was, light force fully dialed up, free from egoic structures that create inner conflict, a place of pure, unconditional love. And to be honest with you, doing the medicine is the easy part. To surrender to the bliss of the experience and humbly receive guidance, answers, and practices in relation to healing whatever issue I went in to look at. The real work with these medicine experiences, and really, really important for anybody thinking about stepping into these realms, is that integration after the experience is where the real transformation takes place. It is essential to have a support structure in place for the days and the weeks following these experiences to process and integrate the experience. This can be a community, a knowledgeable therapist, or the shaman themselves to follow up with their session after the work. Thankfully, I always had this in my experience, and it wasn't until I began to work with people in my own practice who didn't have this kind of support, where I became fully aware of how dangerous these medicines can be if their aftercare is not part of the experience. As an energy medicine practitioner who developed consciousness medicine, weaving together my scientific background with complementary healing modalities, I was blown away by how much energy was running through my system when I took these medicines. I believe this to be a big part of the healing effects that these substances offer by flooding the body, mind, and spirit with pure high vibration of energies that the entire system is reset through its expansive stretching into the psyche. One of the main ways the medicine brings transformation is to dissolve the old egoic patterns that are shaped by our ancestral entanglements and childhood conditioning. While the medicine is in your system, the ego is gone, and the truth of the authentic self arises. And this is where a skilled practitioner comes in to help hold the scaffolding of change so that you can move into it when you are ready, to hold the light that is far greater than you can imagine as a template for what you can create in your life. Plant medicines still factor into my spiritual and self-care practices. I've honed my skills to navigate solo journeys that are a go-to when I feel stuck, need a deep reset, am seeking clarity, or want to celebrate sacred energies like holy days or seasonal equinoxes. The work with these spirits has deepened my connection with nature and the elementals, nourishing an unwavering sense of love and support from the unseen forces of the universe and beyond. As a scientist, I've been following the work of institutes like MAPS doing psychedelic research, who are working with lawmakers to legalize it in responsible ways. And I'm happy to see that the clinical data is now showing the undeniable therapeutic benefits that these substances offer, and to include them in natural, functional medicine approaches to treat people holistically. So thanks to Podcastathon for drawing together 1,500 podcasters and uniting and making an impact by dedicating our episodes this week to causes to bring awareness to charitable organizations. The organization I'm featuring here is MAPS, and I'll put the link to donate and all their information in the episode notes. If you feel called to walk this path, may you walk it with awareness. May you listen deeply. May you trust the wisdom within. And until next time, be well, be present, and may the healing codes find you exactly where you are. You can find out more about me and my work on my website, www.consciousness-medicine.com, where you can also sign up for my free e-newsletter and stay connected on social media from the links on the homepage.